What's up, folks? So can I get real with you guys for a moment and you watch this video all the way to the end? I'm going to share some vulnerable thoughts as it relates to my coaching practice, really entrepreneurship in general, and the discovery that I made along this journey. So as it relates to my practice, when I was first starting out, I didn't want to launch. I didn't want to. I felt like I'm just this black chick from the Bronx, and while I may be able to help people in my 9 to 5, it's not going to be the same if I go out on my own and start my own business. I couldn't hear the positive thoughts that were being given to me from others who I had coached in the past. I couldn't hear their encouragement telling me that I could do this because there was something in me blocking me that was so loud. And so I started to wonder what that was. And I started to listen to the voices a little bit more, because sometimes when we're struggling with things, we know that there is a block and we are so paralyzed by that block that we don't even identify it. It's hard for us to really want to pay attention to it, and yet it still has a hold on us. That's how you know you're deep, when you're too scared to even face it and give it a name. And that's where I was. And so the more I started to think, I started to realize that the thoughts running through my mind was, why would anybody listen to me? One thing that I really was intentional about was I wanted to make sure that my Black brothers and sisters knew that coaching could work for them, and that it didn't matter what your economical status was, that this was a service that was available to you. And so I wanted to keep my pricing affordable while also allowing myself quality of life. I wanted to make sure that it felt accessible. I wanted to make sure that people understood that you can get coaching to help transform the narratives that have been rooted in and ingrained in us from childhood on up. And I wanted to make sure that that was the impact that I was having, and whatever we talked about in session was transferable throughout life and something that was sustainable. That was my passion, and yet I felt like no one's gonna care. The life coach thinking this. And so I started to trace where these feelings were coming from. And as I was tracing where it's coming from, I realized that a lot of it is rooted in my upbringing. My feelings of low self-worth, my feelings of inadequacy as it relates to my childhood. My parents, my dad died when I was young. My mother wasn't there. And so I would think, here I am trying to be this Black coach from one of the poorest counties in the country, trying to help others see that coaching is affordable and effective. And why would I think my own people would care? And that was parallel to me thinking, why would anyone love me if my own mother didn't? And I was like, okay, that's interesting, the parallel thought. And then I said, okay, but what about other people? And it became the same thing, because I realized that as it relates to my self-worth, I felt like if my mother didn't love me, then who else would? And why would anybody else? Same thing with the practice. Okay, if my own people don't see it, why would anybody else get it? There are so many coaches out here. Why would someone want to talk to me, given where I'm coming from? And so I had an aha moment. Didn't make me feel like the solution was there right away. The aha moment was just, it's a parallel. And if I continue to work on my self-worth, then my business will also be positively impacted. And I said, okay, this is yet another moment. We all go through journeys, and we will go through different levels of that journey, right? You'll feel like you come through your worth. For me, I felt like I reached a certain point in my worth where I was able to look in the mirror and see myself as beautiful. I was able to put on clothes and feel good about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I feel worthy, until this happened. And it was another level. And that was the aha moment. My self-worth is back on the table, and I need to show it some attention. And so in comes the work. And so for me, I had to remind myself that this is a gift that I truly believe was given to me from God. And as such, there are people who are attached to me that are going to be blessed and transformed by this. And it doesn't matter what their religious belief is. The gift that I have is for a set people. And whoever they are going to find me as long as I continue to show up. And then I started thinking about like shampoos and soaps and different commercialized products. And I'm like, there are so many soaps and shampoos on the market, yet people have their favorite. They gravitate to the things that they like, and this will be no different. So to my entrepreneurs out there, this will be no different. Your audience is your audience. Mine's is mine's. And for those that are attached to me, join me. Let's partner together. Hope to see you soon. Never stop growing.